I'm back with the sun gods, but this time I have 2 out of 3 sun gods. It's 3 sun gods. There's a lot of sun gods. Is there only one god of the sun, though?
It really depends which religion or cultural group you're talking about. The Egyptians have a few which are vaguely, like, they compartmentalize it into different parts of the sun. I think there's the sun disk god. Don't exactly know what that
I
is.
thought it was just Ra.
No, there's Ra.
The sun disk god?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why. You'd have to ask the ancient Egyptians that question. I don't have that insight on me.
I have to go time travel, figure it out. Yeah. One of those things.
Too.
Greeks got a couple, yeah.
They've got like Apollo, but he's the boss of Helios or some shit like that. Oh. I actually looked at sun gods when I joined the band. Well, because this guy had done makeup, so I was like, "Oh, yo, it'd be cool to come up with some cool like makeup ideas."
Yeah.
And then, that didn't work out. I couldn't be bothered.
Too much work.
I Google searched it on my phone. I was like, "Yeah, that's enough."
Too much work. Yeah, I know in the Aztec religion, I think they have a couple of sun gods. I think they have there was like one of those religions where it had like a god for just every little part of your life. Yeah, but they also sacrifice a lot of children.
Yeah, they're quite expensive. I mean, it probably was true back then as well. So
what, children are expensive?
Yeah, so I can understand why you'd want to sacrifice one or two.
Yeah, but it's sort of like you're having like a bad harvest. The only way to maybe have a good harvest is to kill the children.
Yeah. So, oh no, the grains failed again. Like, we're going to have to bump off a few kids.
Yeah. Not a few, thousands. Yeah, it was...
This is not going to be a breeding year. Sorry to everyone that's become attached, but we're going to have to sacrifice all the children here.
Yeah. If someone knocks at your door like, do you really love your children? Do you mind if we just...
Yep, sacrifice them.
Oh, what an intro. That was cool. All right. Your guys' new song, Follow, I had a good listen to it a few times. Do you want to know how I really felt about it?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know how I really felt about it? I quite liked it. I liked it more than Cocaine Eyes.
Oh, it's good.
I like the vocals more on this myself. And I also... It felt like a combination between like Midnight Youth, She Had, and Deftones all like pulverized. That's what it sounded like to my ears.
Okay. Oh, we'll take that.
You take it?
Yep.
Could be a worse comparison.
It could be a worse comparison.
Yeah.
Then you could twist by saying, actually, I hate all those bands.
You hate it? They're all shit.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like all those bands for different reasons. Yeah, it was, in terms of, it's by far the simplest song I think I've ever written. There's 3 chords pretty much the whole way through, plus the bridge where I think I had another couple, but that's all. And when you play it on bass,
like 2 more notes, yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 more notes in it. I think it was just something I was fiddling around with on my guitar, like a lot of good riffs. I was playing the guitar, unplugged my electric, and just sort of went over and over and over again. I was like, oh, there's something really quite cool about that. Like, I reckon if I plugged it in and just turned up my distortion as far as it'll go on the amp, it would sound really, really big, and it did. And I think James... I think we were still playing as a 2-piece. Like Phil wasn't playing.
It was recorded by the time I joined. So.
Yeah, right.
So Phil wasn't playing. Yeah, Phil wasn't playing at that point.
That's why you joined. Like,
I've got a fucking.
Yeah, it's not as good.
I've got an actual bass line in the verses.
Yeah. Not just what the guitar's doing.
Yeah, it actually sounds really, really cool with the bass line that Phil added. And in fact, it was almost at the point where I was like, oh, do we want to go back and add that back in? No, it's already been mastered.
I gotta spend money on recording it. It's already on Spotify.
For some reason, our producer's like, look, if you make me go back and re-record parts and remix it, I'm going to charge you extra. I'm like, oh, okay. I suppose that's what he gets paid for.
Yeah. You should just want to do it out of the good of your heart.
Yeah.
That's the answer you want.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was expecting.
But realistically, it's a business.
but realistically, time is money.
Yeah, realistically, time is money. He's actually really quite good at that. Really quite good at us, like, wasting his time.
Wasting his time.
For not money.
He was pretty good about it on the week.
He was. But I think he knows that we've also got quite a few songs that we're going to record with him. So he's like, oh, at least I'll get some of that back.
Yeah.
On a per hour basis, it probably still doesn't work out fantastic. But
it's that pre-investment. It's like, okay, if I sacrifice a little bit, maybe they'll give me way more money later.
Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah. When are you guys going to be famous? Like, hard out famous?
I was thinking probably within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, sweet.
We got up past a couple of hundred listeners on Spotify the other day, so it's getting pretty big now.
And the hundreds.
Yeah, in the hundreds.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty. We're kind of a big deal now, and I think next week we might actually have people we don't know turn up to a show. So
That's weird. It's normally just the family members and some friends who are like, oh, I want to do something else tonight. Like, no, I'll give you $20. Come to my show.
So the 5 people here to watch the other band, eh?
Yeah.
Or
And then when you got on, they've gone home.
Or it's the other band and then just like the other band's girlfriends and they're just there like, yeah.
That's happened a couple times.
I've been there, man. I remember I played a show. I think I was with Kurta in like quite a long time ago, and we played after them. Everyone left. I mean, they were nice that they stayed, but like everyone else was watching them just left, and I was just like, oh yeah.
Ouch.
Oh well. But that's what happens when you go on at like 11 at night. Sometimes, and you're a band that no one really knows.
Yeah, it can be rough. Eh? I think we've actually been quite lucky in the last like sort of few gigs we've played. Quite a few people have been there.
Except for Tauranga.
except for Tauranga.
Where'd you guys play in Tauranga?
Twice we've played in Tauranga, and twice it has been.
What venue?
Voodoo Lounge.
Voodoo Lounge.
Voodoo
Yeah.
Lounge.
It's an interesting little venue there. I think it's the cool thing about it is because it's small. I reckon if you get 20 people in there, it probably feels super packed out. But when you have no people in there, it just feels weird, and it doesn't help that the last time.
Tumbleweeds.
And then, last time we had like porn on in the background too. And
porn.
No one, some people came in and I thought they were coming to take videos of us. I was like, oh shit, there's some people coming in. And then
We're on fire.
Their phones were aimed at the TV on the side, and it was just 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, it was literally 50 Shades of Grey. So
Not even videoing the band, just like, this porn's
I
better.
want to see that video because somewhere out there in the digital ether there is a video of us playing, and beside us just on a screen is it Jamie Dornan, just like the top shot from right above of him just giving it this one.
Oh my god.
So I don't know who these people were. If you're out there somewhere in the digital ether, we'd love to get that footage because I think it's a timeless music moment of us playing while there's basically just soft porn in the background with some really graphic like sort of pounding shots.
Yeah.
Like
Some
this
just
guy noticed that when he started to sing, and so he kind of like,
I could probably get like a fright. I'd be like, what the fuck?
So you guys keep playing. I'm going to watch this.
this is better than us.
This is way better.
Just go sit at the bar and have a drink and watch the other two play. And watch, 50 Shades of Grey.
That is a unique experience. And Tauranga, eh? Bringing the porn to the gig.
Yeah. It's right beside a strip club as well.
Yeah.
I remember I heard from do you guys know Hayden Taylor by any chance? He used to work at York Street when that was around. But he told me of a gig he went, just like a hardcore punk band. I can't remember what venue it was, and they just like got a computer and just plugged it in and just played porn for like the first quarter of their set. They didn't even play. It was just hardcore porn. And I'm just like, okay.
That's a vibe, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, what are you trying to set up here? It's just
Did they have many people watching?
I don't know.
That's what we need to know.
Maybe that's the market, like that's what you're missing out on.
We need those live analytics.
Yeah.
Got to have the live porn, and then people might check out your music.
Yeah, some data.
Maybe.
Some data on the show would be good. Numbers through the door, time spent watching.
Yeah, engagement.
Yeah.
So then time watching the band afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe you could have merch, but instead of selling t-shirts, you sell like packets of tissues.
Yeah, condoms.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. Some bands sell condoms.
That's a pretty cool thing to sell.
Yeah, like some bands, I think Shikari used to sell condoms at their gigs. That song, they had Johnny Sniper, and they sell like Johnny Sniper condoms or something.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
Sun God condoms. That is Sun God condoms. It just sounds wrong. But you can try it.
Yeah. I think as a branding thing, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Maybe.
Just don't know who you'd give them to. Like as a promoter, you give them to some influencers.
Yeah. Have you guys got in touch with influencers?
No.
Do you actually? I don't know any influencers. I don't know who these people are. They're just like I still don't really understand the whole influencer thing. It's like you're a digital creator, but then technically everybody's a digital creator.
I think you're a digital creator with lots and lots of people who follow you.
Yeah.
And so enough that maybe people would pay to access the audience that you have. I think that's probably the differentiating factor, isn't it? I don't think somehow anyone's paying us
No.
for our audience.
No.
Put a few more zeros on the end of it, and maybe, but still, even then.
What's a product you would never sell? Let's say you got offered a stupid amount of money on your guys' for the band. Oh, we want you to sell. I don't know. What's something horrible? Just like
Chocolate.
like torturing devices or something.
I don't know.
I mean, torturing devices are fine if it's consensual.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think that would be a bit of a vibe.
That'd be a bit of a vibe.
From a branding perspective, I don't necessarily think that would be a bad thing. Just something really inane and dumb would probably be like, I don't know, laundry detergent.
Like sort of self-cleaning, like self-cleaning toilets. That's a thing.
Self-cleaning toilets?
Yeah.
I could get behind endorsing that.
Behind endorsing that?
Yeah, I've had to clean the toilet quite a lot of times in my life. I don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm behind that idea. If you can line one up for us, like an endorsement.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got any sponsors just yet for myself, so we'll see.
We'll see if we can line one up. I don't know what brand synergy there is there, but I think it's quite a broad market because at the end of the day, if you're an adult, you probably have to clean a toilet at some stage, and you don't want to have to do that. So
it's like, so I'm trying to find those little conveniences you can offer people, right, in their day-to-day lives. But I'm trying to think like.
Let's get that blue stuff so you don't have to clean down to the waterline.
Yeah. Well, like, I still don't really understand how, like, just like these, like, I guess it is like just your audience, right? Having a lot of followers, or like if you're very good looking. I guess, is there many ugly influencers?
No, unless they're funny. It has to be funny or good looking. I'm fairly certain that's how it works.
That's it.
Well, not to a point. If you got like a niche and you're offering value to people and building some sort of relationship with you that they see value in over an extended period of time, I guess that probably works. Like you wouldn't say Mr. Beast is the best looking dude in the world. But,
but he does bizarre things you wouldn't think to do, but he will do it. Like bury himself underground. Have you guys seen that one?
No.
He got in a coffin and like 6 feet under and then like lived in it for like 2 weeks.
Did he?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff he does, like those sorts of challenges.
Yeah. See, I can kind of see how that's like from an entertainment perspective. That's interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily call him an influencer though.
No, he's kind of like I think he might have started doing gaming and then turned like almost like a game show type like channel sort of from there, and then I mean he does some good stuff though. He does a lot of things for like charity. Gives things a lot of money away to people and all that. Some people think he's a piece of shit. I think they just say that because he's got money.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting dude.
He's pretty much figured out the way of funding his projects anyway.
Yeah, which is like every video you make, and then just reinvest it in the next one. It's a good model. I mean, as long as you can make money. That's
like if he's doing like a charity thing, it'll cost a shit ton of money. He just makes it back on that video, pays for the next one. Like was that doing some blind people stuff? Then the next one will chuck in some wells in Africa and shit. So just pays for it.
It's a super like.
Do we still believe that there's just no water in Africa?
I think it's an increasing problem everywhere in the world, to be honest.
Yeah.
Unless there's too much water.
Because it's just like I've been hearing that conversation since like World Vision in like primary school. Like we need to build wells in Africa. It's like I mean, don't get me wrong,
the clean water out.
Yeah,
it's just the clean water.
Yeah.
Yeah, both water, I think, in general, and clean water that's drinks that's drinkable without giving you dysentery and killing you and your family.
And just having lots of like wastewater or people dumping all their rubbish and crap into the river, which still happens in a lot of the world. Still to this day,
like New Zealand.
Well, not as I mean, it still happens there. But it's not as bad as like I think one of the worst ones I saw. I can't remember where it was in India, but just like people bathing.
Oh, the Ganges.
Yeah, I think it's the Ganges. Yeah, people like bathing and all that, and then up the stream, someone just dumping fucking who knows what, and it's just like, you need to stop that, because then you might be able to clean it up, but then people's habits, you got to change that as well.
Yeah, and also if you've got like millions and millions of people living so far below the poverty line, they've got nothing to do with your rubbish.
Yeah, just dumping, right?
Got to put it somewhere.
It's like those old videos, like of I guess looking at like the UK. I think it's like the Industrial Revolution, and people would just throw shit out of their house, like out of their like apartment or flat. Have you seen that stuff? There's people like walking on the street, and people just throw their poo out the window just onto the street.
Yeah.
Gotta empty out the shit buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, but yeah, I mean, it's always good to have perspective about, I don't know, how times were, how times now. Now we have a toilet, and now my crap goes to the ocean, and fish get to eat it. So
Hopefully it gets clean before it gets there.
hopefully, not sure though.
Yeah. I'll go and check.
You're gonna go check. You can check my
if you can
pipes, see
no,
whether
like,
they
can
come
you
out.
put like an apple, like what's it called, the locating apple tag in it?
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Put an Apple Watch on your shit. Just so you can see where it goes. That's out there.
It's out there. It's got a heartbeat.
Yeah. What's living in it? Look how much calories it burned on the way down the pipe out to get to the ocean.
It's done 5 kilometers in half an hour. That's good. That's good going for a piece of
Fucking
poo.
oath. Yeah, you can take a break now. I've got to go to sleep as well.
Oh, we've covered some territory in the last 25 minutes, haven't we?
It's been good. It's been good. It's just, this podcast is open to, you can confess or discuss whatever you want. It's all open, And even if it is talking about shits going down the drain being attached with an Apple Watch. So I'm talking about the important big things here, What else has been happening in your guys' world? Not the sun gods or what's been happening? Big things, small things. Obviously, the single, but what about upcoming tours or new videos, more makeup? Are you guys going to change doing more makeup for your live shows? I saw the last one you guys, the videos of the big fan. So you guys had the the white and doing all that. You guys going to still keep doing that?
I think so.
We've kind of just been using it just for live gigs, bit of war paint, pretty fun.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about doing it for other stuff, just as a way of creating some kind of visual identity. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing. So I don't think we want to be the sort of band that is always permanently in makeup as part of our identity. And also, if you're doing it on stage, you kind of have to make it really blunt and obvious because it doesn't translate if you're just doing sort of subtle things with makeup.
Needs to
or,
cut so for someone at the back can see.
Yeah, exactly. So I just had a chat with James today about it. And I was like, if we're doing another video soon, could we split the difference and maybe do some interesting things while sort of retaining the other aesthetic that we have, which is broadly, I don't know, rock music with kind of some quirks.
Some quirks?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, talking about the image thing is super, super interesting. I think we've tried to sort of give people like a reference point to say, look at us, this is who we are, but also to try and differentiate ourselves a little bit. And that's kind of a challenging thing to do because you want people to instantly look at you and be like, okay, I can put you kind of within this box, this sort of realm to get what you're trying to communicate with me, but also doing something different that looks unique and interesting and original without completely severing their connection to what you want them to associate you with. So I think we're just probably trying to strike that balance at the moment in terms of what we do when we're not on stage.
I guess also with an image, I never really thought about that, catering to your audience with your image and what people expect. I guess I kind of think about it like the only band I really follow who do heaps with their image would be Slipknot, I suppose, because they every album cycle will be something different, new meanings, and you can really delve behind what each member's mask or outfit means and stuff, which is pretty cool. It's quite a cool way to do it, but I think for you, it's more cohesive unit. You guys are inseparable in terms of your appearance, and with what you're wearing, makeup wise and things like that.
Well, everything. I think a lot of people, everybody knows it, but I don't think they consciously sort of think about it. But when you look at someone or something, a person or a group of people, the way that they present themselves to you is how you judge them initially before you've even talked to them. You make a lot of assumptions, a lot of judgments about people before they even communicate with you, just based on what you see. And I think it's probably even more acute with music as well.
Definitely.
If you look at, I remember Lady Gaga talking about how she wanted to sort of differentiate herself when she started her career, and she definitely did that. And I think with someone like that, if she had just released her songs as they were without the accompanying histrionics, no one probably would have given a shit.
It's just another pop artist.
Yeah.
Or pop, isn't just another pop music kind of sound, yeah. Because she was incredibly theatrical comparatively to a lot of pop artists at that time. And just weird. I guess the visuals that she would do for pop music at that time was definitely strange.
Yeah, in contemporary terms, like Sleep Token, for example, like having the whole masks on,
Yeah.
weird voicey thing, and you not being able to identify them. That is, like, if it turned out that they are a bunch of computer programmers in their mid 40s from somewhere in, southeast London, they would be significantly less interesting when you looked at them. Just like,
Definitely.
it's just four dudes. Or four of them?
Is there 4 or 5?
4 or 5? But yeah, if you looked at them and you're like, oh, okay, it's just four dudes. So what? The fact that you can't identify them, the fact that they're dressed in a particular way and communicate a lot with what they dress before you even hear their music, I think makes them a hell of a lot of a different proposition completely.
Yeah, I don't know if we're still in like a time now where like the regular dude or like the average person sort of persona in music is like boring. It kind of like I feel like I kind of look like the grunge like 90s era, because 80s I feel like the big personalities, big outfits, colorful, loud appearance, and then it kind of went back to being like, oh, we're just regular people, like fuck that shit. And then it's kind of come back of being like, now we're bored of regular people, we need something bigger than that. And also with the digital age, because you have so much more competition, I think you probably, well, yeah, I suppose you do have so much more competition, yeah, in lots of ways. So now you need to separate yourself. Why are you interesting? Rather than like, oh, it's just another band playing power chords or something.
Yeah, 100%. I think that like with a lot of the metal stuff that I listen to now, the like progressive stuff, it's so technical and so intricate. It needs something to stand out for me to want to pay much more attention to it, I think. I just, from a personal thing, probably because I'm a singer, but listening to the lyrics and the voice, if it's something that doesn't sound generic, I'll probably pay more attention to it.
Yeah.
But from an aesthetic point of view as well, I think if it doesn't look just like, the cliched dudes in black doing metal, inverted commas.
Yeah. Long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flying V guitars and double kicks. It's like,
Yeah. I think that probably translates to anybody that I see across any genre. I want to know more about them, what makes them unique or interesting. And while the music sure is an important part of that, I think a lot of the communication that you have to make initially, particularly in a day and age of reduced attention spans, is that people need to have like a really clear idea of who you are and what you stand for when they look at you first.
yeah, it's like living like the real age, with just being, or TikToks or whatever you want to call them, just like straight away, first 2 seconds, first second, I'd probably argue you got to like really like just straight away, boom, come in. I remember like for a while with like band promotion stuff or music, there was always this like focus on like intros and showing like, oh, this is the intro of the song. I think they can still be alright, but most people want like, the chorus or like the what's it? I guess like the icing. People want the icing first before they can eat the whole cake. I suppose I'd kind of put it. So you would like give them like that chorus or that loud or that big part or that like climax of the song, rather than give them I think like a big build up of everything. Because I remember I tried that, and I noticed when I was doing like some marketing stuff for some of my music, I tried the intro sections and be like, oh, like coming soon and blah blah blah. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
No one cares. But as soon as you put the chorus on, have like a loud part, have more climactic, people are like, oh, like, I mean, it would probably it would get a bit more engagement for sure. So little things like that, which I think is like, yeah. But also no one cares about your music or what you're doing as much as you do.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, you do have to communicate to people very quickly what the idea is. It's interesting as well. Like I saw
Because
this.
I did the exact what he said is not good to do in the last one.
Oh, you did that? You did that?
I just did a little bit of the intro and left it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're just putting it out for fun, but I think if you're trying to get like more than just friends and family, like I noticed that it was like
For people who are already with you, that's fine. Who are going to be invested in what it is you're actually doing, that makes perfect sense. Like a big band could do that, and people would be fizzing at the bung. But if they don't know who you are, they're not going to care.
I think it was because the song hadn't come out, so we only wanted to put like a little bit. So I thought, oh yeah, that's just the intro.
just the intro.
Interestingly enough, do you know that guy Rick Beato, who's got quite a big? He's a YouTuber basically now, but a former record producer. He did some analysis with, I can't remember who it was. Basically, he'd been given all this data across different genres, and apparently across Spotify, a lot more people were listening to rock and country music and less to hip hop.
Yeah, I saw this recently.
Same thing. The interesting thing was, did you see the length of the songs?
No, I just saw that highlight part with a lot songs like 3 minutes, 2 minutes 30 or something.
Well, yeah, they were shortening heaps, and it was
Oh,
interesting.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, neither am I. But it was interesting to see, like, he was like, that harkens back almost back to the '60s when a lot of music, like the Beatles songs and stuff, were often between
course,
2 minutes and 2.5 minutes.
yeah.
And you know that idea that you just said of not having a really long meandering intro. Like a lot of the Beatles stuff, they would start with the hook, and they would produce that way deliberately so that you'd get the big sort of awesome, fun, attractive part of the song first, so that you're like, yeah, okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah,
And they only had to hold you for 2 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like it reminds me of I remember at school we had to like we're looking at like classic rock music and lots of kind of contemporary pop 50s, 60s and that. And I remember that classic was it She's a Mod, Ray Columbus and the Invaders. What a banger. She's a Mod.
Yeah, but it drops straight in there, doesn't
straight
it?
in, straight in, and like there was a lot of it was Motown did that as well. It just comes in like and I think it was the 70s, right? I guess when the progressive people started. 5, 6, 7 minute songs. It was like bands like Yes, and then that kind of became. But then there was like punk also was like a counter to that. So it had like this weird like friction of like popular music of like 7, 8, 5+ minutes to then like 2 minute songs. I wonder when the 3 minute 30 thing came in. Where did that come in? I feel like it was the 90s. Was it not?
The 3 minute 30 thing was
Because that's like the peak pop music. That was like the formula forever. For not forever, but for probably like 20 years.
I think part of it was that radio stations felt that people were going to turn off if it were longer than that. I don't know what data they had to support it, but it also probably meant that it fit within like a blocked hour worth of broadcasting, so they could have X number of songs if
And
they were
ads.
only 3 minutes, and then they could
Yeah,
block it up so
true.
you know that we're going to have 4 ad breaks during this hour, and between those each ad break we can fit at least 3 songs for 3 minutes 30. So people feel like they've got enough songs and enough things before we hit them with ads again. That was probably I'm guessing that's the rationale behind it. And I know that years ago when we were trying to pitch songs to radio, we were talking to producers who were like, yeah, don't make it any longer than 3 minutes 30 or 3 minutes 45 at most. They'd be like, really? Why? And they'd be like, because radio stations don't like it. And one of the other things I heard a DJ say on here was like, good way to get your song on radio, make it 2 minutes so they can squeeze it in between another song and an ad break. I was like, huh, you really thought of it like that.
2 minutes, yeah. But I don't know. Like I was talking to I had the young guys on from Where's Jai come on, and they're doing really well. They're like teenagers, and I was asking them about how they feel about radio, things like that. Like, is that? I mean, it's just like another form of promotion, right? That you can get, but like their songs are like 5 minutes long, and they do very well on the streaming platforms and all that stuff, and that's kudos to them. So I don't know. It's like I wonder where the model is now. Like with like the radio model, like that's interesting what you're talking about because it's like it's like you have the 2 minute, like the 3 minute. I feel like that 3 minute 30 thing is just like kind of gone now.
Yeah, well, I think with radio stations that still have to operate to like an hourly format, it's probably still relevant. And there's still quite a few of them. And I think from a musician's perspective, if you get a song on the radio and it gets played a lot, you do get reasonable amounts of royalties. So from like a making money or like having your music not cost you like copious amounts of money if you're being somewhat successful in a broadcast sense, that's something to consider. But also I kind of agree with you that the taste makers to an extent now are increasingly offline. Not entirely though.
No, it's not entirely.
Because I think radio does give you access to probably a passive market. Like if you're a music fan, like probably all of us are, and you listen to a song or you hear a song that you like, you're probably going to go down that rabbit hole and explore it, where there's a whole lot of people who aren't actually that into music who'll listen to something on the radio and be like, oh, that's nice. And maybe if it gets presented to them again, we'll be like, oh, isn't that nice? That's cool. I might find another song by this band somehow, but they don't actually care enough to go looking for it. Whereas
I do that sometimes too on Spotify. I just like a song and it's saved on my likes. Don't know anything about the artist.
Yeah, like and then you get like the daily mix or like a curated playlist towards that song that you've liked, and you get all that.
It's interesting to think about how it works outside New Zealand as well, because I think a lot of radio stations and music possibly in general is a lot more broad, because New Zealand sold all its radio frequencies years ago. They figured out the easiest way to make money was to like target your radio station really specifically to a certain person. Whereas in countries like the UK, for example, where they have a much like tighter restrictions on what you can and can't listen, what you can and can't like do with radio frequencies. So a lot of the frequencies still owned by the BBC. So they have, I think BBC 1, 2, 3, and 4 but on any one of those stations, you would probably expect to hear a much broader range of music. Like you might hear like for example, an Enter Shikari track followed by like, I don't know, who's a hip hop artist that the kids are listening to, Phil?
Also, who's a really big hip hop artist right now?
21 Savage.
Is it Lil something? What's Lil Yachty? Is he a thing still?
I don't know.
He just made like an alternative album.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
A Lil Yachty.
Like a psychedelic album.
Oh, cool. Was he the one who did like a deathcore song? I heard like one of those mumble rappers. I think it might be him. Or Lil Peep, or was he dead? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, he's dead. Oh, there we go.
I can't before he died.
I can't keep track. But I know one of them. Went fully alternative. I don't know if I hope it's better than Lil Wayne's alternative album. Do you guys remember that? Did you guys ever hear that?
Not gonna lie, but I kind of liked that.
You liked it?
With the one where he's playing the guitar.
Yeah. I mean, good on him for giving it a go, but it was I don't know. I just remember that song. What was it called? Prom Queen. I remember that.
I do remember that album.
What a
There's
song.
like 2 or 3 songs on that album that I actually really liked.
I need to listen. I think I listened to like 2 songs. I think at the time I was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever heard." But now I'm probably older. I'll probably be like, "Oh, I can find something all right in it."
I thought it was cool, but I didn't necessarily actually like it that much. If you know what I mean.
Mm.
So yeah, because he was heavily auto tuning stuff.
Apparently, what happened was he had a couple of songs for that album. He played it to some people and they were like, "This is shit." So he went and re-recorded it. But I was like, man, if he had stuck to his guns, it might have been like pretty solid.
It might have been better
Because he had this weird at that same time he had released this weird like it was almost a cover of what's that song? It's a Green Day.
Green Day song.
I think it's Green Day.
I thought he covered.
Do you have the time? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
that one.
Basket Case.
Yeah.
Did he cover that?
Oh, it's not a full cover, but he started his verses with that. I was like, it's all right.
That's all right. But good on him for trying.
I think Wayne was probably hoping for more than "It's Alright."
Yeah, I did. There were some amazing guitar performances of him. By amazing, I mean him.
Oh, because he had
struggling. I remember there was this really good YouTuber, I think named Steve Terrabury, I think, and he would like do these analysis videos, like taking the piss out of bad guitarists, and he had Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne has like his guitar down here, and he plays with his thumb.
He holds the guitar with his hand and plays with his thumb.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 notes.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe
not, but good on you for
maybe
giving
get
it
a
a
I mean, I'd prefer that to the people that hold the guitars and start strumming.
You prefer that?
Well, it's kind of hard when you play guitar. It's kind of hard to watch people like holding a nothing and doing this with an unplugged guitar.
Right. I thought you prefer people holding it down there.
No.
I was like, that's a hot take, and I want to learn more.
I mean, like there's music videos or like live performances.
Yeah.
Where they're playing it,
and they're making it. Yeah.
There was the one of.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Have you seen the one of Courtney Love?
No.
So Hole's performing live.
Oh, it sounds bad already.
And so she's got a guitar on, obviously. But I think there was some guy they'd hired, an engineer or something, like, hey, we want you to take this performance and we're going to get you to mix it and turn it into this like live video. And he's like, I went with all my gear, recorded it, had all the tapes and stuff, all the recording, and then they never contacted me again. And he was like, so here's what it sounds like with Hole. And you could tell the other guitarist who was in the band was actually playing the stuff correctly. But Courtney Love was clearly not supposed to be plugged in or turned up, because she's basically just going. He's done a mix with her turned up in it, and it's actually it's quite jarring. People are like, it's so punk, and I was like, I don't know if she's going for punk though.
I think it's just mistakes. So punk, it just sounds bad. But that's the thing with like punk music and some of that rock. Hey, it's like, is it meant to sound good? Is it meant to sound bad? The lines get a bit blurred of some of that sort of music.
I mean, even when we play, I fuck up a lot, because half of the gimmick is I'm just running around off stage.
Yeah.
So I'm like fucking Where's the beat? Can't even see shit.
Where are we at in the song? He's often so far away that there's 2 seconds worth of latency by the time the song gets to him.
Hopefully that wireless
That's
doesn't
another
lose
thing.
signal, just like,
Yeah, it's like
like glitching in and out.
that's another one I wish I had a video of. I saw someone like recording me while I was playing a song. It was like a slow part,
Yeah.
and it was so hot on stage. I ran down and I was pouring myself some water. I drank that, and then I ran back in front of the fan like this.
Yeah. And just like, where's our bassist? It's fucking hot, man. It's hot on stage. That's good. Oh, I love that stuff. It's like watching bands like go off and like, I think I saw a guitarist do it. I don't know what band it was. Like go off and like order a beer, and then just sitting in the bar playing, and then like picks up with his mouth, and then just goes back. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm keen on that. Phil doesn't really drink though, so that's not an option. We'd have to keep going with the water, I think.
Yeah, water and Sprite. So
Water and Sprite.
Water and Sprite. Yeah, that's better ways. Do you find, because with your vocals, I can't remember if I asked you last time, like with like drinking before a show or having like fizzy because fizzy drinks for me is like a big no because of all the carbonation and bubbles and stuff. I can't sing.
No, I
having,
do the
like,
same, but then I
fizzy.
do massive like burps halfway through, like holding a big note, particularly when you're engaging your core.
Yeah.
I end up with yeah, that's a thing. It doesn't really stop me because it's kind of like part of our vibe on stage is we like to get pretty loose.
Yeah.
And I think
Have as much fun as possible.
yeah, have as much fun as possible.
true.
And honestly, like I think we've kind of long since accepted that if the performance suffers a little bit because we're going like
Having a lot of
completely
fun.
yeah, having a lot of fun, going completely loose on stage, and that's okay. I think we're probably good enough that most people don't notice, and people that do notice probably forgive it because, you know, Phil's...
yeah.
as
Phil's
long
down.
as this guy can sing, then
As long
it's
as
all good.
as long as Konrad's in key, it's all
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
that's what people are listening
a lot,
to.
That's true. No
lot-
one, no one cares about anything else apart from if your vocals
Like the main
sound
thing
reasonable.
is the voice, and then like does it grooving in sync?
Yeah, as long as the drums don't completely fuck up and the vocals are in key,
So yeah, I play
yeah,
bass.
maybe alright. Yeah. But if the bass stops, people eventually, oh, something's missing.
yes.
Maybe like after-
he's holding it
after
up
2
for a
songs.
drop.
I think so many live mixes though that I hear, basically it's just all the basses is just stuff below 100 hertz. So it's literally just sounds like anyway.
Yeah,
So-
as long as you're hitting the right timing, then
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what the note is, G. As long as it's bull.
Yeah, Phil actually doesn't, still to this day, doesn't know any of our songs.
nah, I know them. I just still get confused at this guy's lyrics.
You get confused.
I must hear most of his songs,
Like you don't know what the songs like. What he's trying to get at, or
No, I'm not sure what he's saying, like the words, because I was sometimes I'm meant to do backing vocals, and one of the songs I think he says "sit down, know your place." I needed that explained to me because I was singing "sit down on my face."
misheard lyrics, song composition. Sit down. That's almost better.
That's a better lyric. Where were you when I was recording that song? You're like, sit down on my... Change that, bro. Change
So
it.
don't worry. I'll help you with the next one.
Especially if you've got the porn going as well. The background like that just makes it way better.
Yeah. That should be it. I think that should be a new thing of our show, actually. Just totally go back through our back catalogue, re-sexualize everything, and just...
No, just pass the lyrics, just like pass the songs to me, and I'll just write down what I think I hear.
We also did,
That's fun.
we did discuss like the idea of when you're doing backing vocals as well, you don't actually need to
Need
know
to
the
say-
consonants,
yeah.
just the vowels.
Yeah. As long as you
Oh, yeah. That's enough.
I did that in a cover band. I wouldn't even know the lyrics. Sometimes I'd just be like, oh, that's the note. And then it's like, yeah, that works. That works.
I might start doing that.
Just find the notes and stuff. Sit on my. That's quite good. That's a good misheard lyric. That's an idea for you guys should do that on your social media or something. You can have like Phil's misheard lyrics from you.
That's good. We'll note that one down.
Yeah, put that down.
Sit down on my face is the best one. Have you got any others?
I think I'll go with like some for every song, but I can't think of them off the top. of my head.
What's the song?
Oh, like you've got one in Cocaine Eyes.
Yeah.
One of the songs, I thought you were talking about going into Denny's. I can't remember the line. I had to get you to explain what the line was, and I can't even remember
Going
it.
into Denny's, but where are we
Dun,
going?
dun, something, go to Denny's.
Exit's handy?
Yeah, I think it was Exits Handy, but I thought he'd said go to Denny's. I'm like, yo.
So what was that in the first sentence? Free. I won't go into. That's it. I won't go. Exits handy is the line.
Yeah, I thought he said I won't go into Denny's. I'm like, what a stupid fucking line.
Why is this place so special?
Yeah,
What happened to Denny?
I don't want to go into Denny's either way, to be honest. So it's an accurate lyric either way.
No.
Exits handy, and I won't go into Denny's. I don't have any particular reason to, and my experiences there have been like middling at best. So I think I could sing that with conviction as well.
It's a new song. When was the last time you went to Denny's?
Oh, years and years ago, man. Like it would have been, I'd be talking early 2010s probably. And that's because it's where James, our drummer, used to go, and the guys that he worked with at the Empire Tavern and Sam, who we used to play bass with, would go there at the end of a night.
Oh, this is the top of in town on Nelson Street?
Nelson Street, yeah.
Another one. Oh, of course, yeah, Denny's is there, right?
Yeah, and they would order the same thing. And I remember there was one time, I think, I can't remember if it was James or Sam. James possibly ordered like a massive amount of food and then just fell asleep in the corner. I think
you can just fall asleep. At
yeah,
Denny's.
and it was pretty on brand. I think I ate it.
He didn't finish. You're like,
he's falling asleep. He's not going to eat it. I might as well. I think I was like, oh, this is no good. I won't go into Denny's.
No. I had my car towed from Denny's. That's sad. Yeah, because I used to work at Sky City, and I work like real late shifts and that, and it's the only place that's open. I will say though, the Denny's pizza, when they did do pizza, it wasn't that bad and it was quite cheap compared to like Domino's or Pizza Hut or those kind of crappy pizza places. Like the quality of it actually was pretty good and it was cheap and it was big. I think Costco now's got the better one though. Have you guys had the Costco one? Costco pizza yet?
Not in New Zealand. I had it in South Korea. Was the last time I reckon. They're massive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah,
but they're cheap. But they're massive. Anyway, if you want some cheap, massive pizza, go to Costco.
You just have to drive there though. That's the problem.
Yeah, and then you got to go to Costco, and I hate that place because everyone's like fucking turns into an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Yeah, and everyone just. I went in there and I'm like. I'm generally all right with crowds when I was like going to concerts and stuff, but I don't know. I've been in some some crazy mosh pits, but Costco to me was much scarier than a mosh pit. Oh my god,
like
people smashing trolleys and fucking like getting everything off the shelves, and I don't know. I almost had like a fucking panic attack at one point.
If you think of like bulk pack and save, but 2 steps down in terms of just overall vibe, that's kind of where you're starting from. Because all the stocks like stacked up on top of you on these like on the like racks and stuff, just like it would be in a warehouse. And everything is just large and bulk. And it makes people go pretty wild because I think they're kind of like, oh, the discounts. It's like, okay, that's fine, but what are you going to do with 4 kilos of pickles? That's not the point.
And like
how much was it?
Yeah, exactly. $5 for 4 kilos of pickles.
Fuck, that's a pretty good.
That's the thing, bro. If you got 4 kilos of pickles that you need
just gotta bag them up and sell them for.
There's this weird primal energy with people with getting deals, eh? It's like such a weird thing. It's like discount. It's like, oh, I can get like all these mushrooms and that's like 5 kgs for like $10, and then I'm gonna like stab the person next to me to get it. It's interesting.
Another way to think about it is imagine if Temu was a supermarket in West Auckland. That's Costco.
Oh my god. Oh man, imagine that in Henderson. Jesus, that'd be an experience. Temu in Henderson. Oh man, far out. It's kind of like Walmart. I guess it'd be like, wow, like next level down Walmart, I suppose.
Never done Walmart.
Yeah, but when I was in the States, I did Walmart a few times. That was like a shock to my senses. Not because of like everything being like the food and stuff. It was also just they sell guns next to your groceries, and it just, I don't know, myself at the time, it was like, okay, I can buy my eggs here and buy a rifle over here, man. It's like, holy shit.
Just in case you need to shoot your eggs.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, I that was like a bit of a culture shock for sure. However, that was the first time I don't think double stuffed Oreos had come to New Zealand yet, so that was a pretty great discovery.
Is that just Oreo with twice the filling?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about that.
Yeah, it was fucking delicious.
Too much biscuit on the average Oreo, in my opinion.
Too much biscuit. Needs more filling.
Yeah, double stuffed is where it's at.
I think it's just double stuffed.
We could. That sounds like a theme for our new the graphics for our new show.
You guys are turning like a porn band. Well, why not?
Konrad, you've got rid of your entire pedal board, but you've bought 2 wahs. Yeah.
We're getting sexy.
That's the direction we're going in.
We're getting sexy.
It was DIing with wah.
The sexy gods.
The sexy gods.
The sexy gods.
Who don't go to Denny's.
No. Title of the new track, We Don't Go to Denny's. Have you guys seen that hardcore? That's I think it's an older video now, but it's like that hardcore gig at a Denny's. Have you seen that?
No, but...
Oh, it's a classic. I need I'm not at a level of a podcast where I can be like, Joe Rogan, hey, Jamie, pull up that video. I don't quite have that yet. But there's a video of these, it's like this hardcore band who played a hardcore show in a Denny's. And the first thing he says is, what the fuck is up, Denny's? We're going to fucking go. And people start moshing hard and literally just in a Denny's. Somewhere in Baltimore or something in America.
I could get down with that energy.
That's pretty cool. But it's a great video. Check it out. Yeah. Just Baltimore, Denny's hardcore show. That's the peak of I think call outs. What the fuck is up, Denny's?
I think it sounds as though they had sort of a slightly canned audience with them. I reckon that would work better with retirees in there.
Retirees.
Boomers, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that, boomers love their hardcore. There's a great Jim not Jim Jeffries, what's another, the guy who, he does he did the alcohol skit, different types of alcohols. What's the comedian's name who does that? He was in, what was that movie? He was in, what was that Dave Chappelle Half Baked? You guys seen Half Baked? The Dave Chappelle movie?
Yeah.
What was the
Is this the one that got arrested?
Yeah, not the one who got arrested, but the other friend who's they were living in that there was the Dave Chappelle and the Mexican guy and then the white guy. It's the white guy character.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Well, anyway, my point was he had a skit about having mosh pits in the retirement home, but everyone's in their wheelchairs, just going at it, and then just listening, put on Megadeth, and then you fall out of your wheelchair, and then helpers try and help you get up, and they're just and then you just be no, I gotta do it myself, and then you get back on your wheelchair and just fucking mosh. I don't know if that would, interesting. It is interesting, eh? I love those videos of I'll play something from my childhood and it has Rollin' by Limp Bizkit or something. It's Frank Sinatra for our pet, folks or whatever, and then for us it's put on something from my childhood. And put on my neck, my back, yeah, my crack, the classics. But then to your kids, it probably sounds like my neck. It sounds like some jazz,
There's
old people music.
Oh, there's a dude on. I saw him on Instagram, but he's probably on TikTok that does that. He'll take old songs.
Oh, is this he's a hip hop one?
Yeah,
there was a 50 Cent. It's pretty funny.
Oh, does he do it with AI? Because I saw one the other day, which was he'd taken lyrics to a Dr. Dre song and put them over the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
So it was literally the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys singing it with
Problems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it was. I think it might have been 99 Problems actually.
Yeah.
And it's How My Son Hears My Music or something.
Yeah.
Got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
And he's just
Yep. Yeah. Same dude.
Same dude. Yeah. That's good stuff. All right. Anyone seen any good? Have you guys seen June 2?
I was meant to go watch that last night, but I'm gonna watch it tomorrow night.
I heard it's my best movie of the year from multiple people.
Yeah, I've been amped to see it, but I want to see it last week, but then we went off to Tauranga.
Oh, sorry about that.
Band obligations.
I watched half of Everything Everywhere All at Once last night. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that was one of my favorite movies because at the time it came out, there was hardly anyone playing it, so I had to go into town to watch it.
Fell asleep during that movie.
Oh, I fucking love that movie. Yeah.
I was on a plane watching it. Not the best place to watch it.
No. Well, yeah, I've only seen the half of it so far because that's what happens when you have to put children to bed and then finally start watching it at 9:30 at night. But it was super, super interesting. Quite original as well. Have you seen the Swiss Army Man one that those two guys, the Daniels, did?
No.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I've been meaning to watch it.
Oh.
looks really good.
It's completely and utterly off the wall. If you want a brief synopsis, a guy tries to kill himself, fails, and is distracted by a corpse washing up on a beach that turns up to be Daniel Radcliffe as a zombie who farts a lot.
That is original.
And he kind of makes the zombie do all sorts of things like chop wood, and he eventually like turns it into a weird. Oh, I can't even begin to explain it. It's as weird as it sounds already.
Yeah, and it just gets progressively weirder and stranger.
Gets like progressively weirder and stranger, but also quite interesting to watch for that reason. And Everything Everywhere All at Once is kind of a bit. It's like leans into the weird as well, but again in quite an interesting way, with a bigger budget as well. I would imagine because it's a lot of like highly choreographed fight scenes.
That's cool. I started watching new series. It was a Avatar live action. Did you guys ever watch Avatar when that came out? The cartoon.
I watched like the first season when I was young.
Yeah, because that's just like it's now like full live action. That it's amazing. If you've ever watched Avatar before, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. Live actions of animes or cartoons generally aren't very good, but this one is.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like if I enjoyed the anime or the cartoon, then I just don't want to watch the live action.
No, I've seen so many bad ones. I think the worst ones I've seen is the Dragon Ball Z one. That was terrible.
Also, that was fucking awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That was an absolute train wreck.
Yeah, that was horrific. Also, rest in peace to the creator. He died, I think, today or yesterday. It's pretty sad.
I watched the cinema sins of that Dragon Ball Z thing, and basically it was like the cast wasn't bad, but the film is just so bad. And every time like a new cast member comes in, the guys doing the cinema sins things like he'd like take a point off them and be like, "They dragged Chow Yun-Fat into this, didn't they?" Then like someone else to come in, "They dragged this actor into it too, didn't they?"
It's bad. The other one I saw that was real bad as well was Death Note. There's a Death Note Netflix version.
The American one.
Yeah, it was fucking shit. That was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch that.
They completely like changed the. Have you seen Death Note? I recommend it. It's real good.
Like, because they did an American version of like one of my favorite movies,
Which one?
Old Boy.
Oh,
And I couldn't watch it. I started watching it. I was like, nah,
can't.
I can't do it.
Can't do it. Yeah, like this was also Old Boy's like it's like an older film.
It's Korean, Korean movie.
Oh yeah,
it's
Korean
really
movie.
good.
Yeah. What's his name? Is it Martin Scorsese? He did. I'm trying to think like The Departed and stuff, Because that's based off another movie, Internal Affairs from Hong Kong, I think. So that's like Internal Affairs. Yeah, he's done quite. People have like kind of like said about like he takes a lot of foreign films and just kind of like twists them a little bit and westernizes them, but essentially he just like steals plots.
It kind of things happen for ages in film though. Like if I saw someone who did a synopsis of the first Avatar movie and Pocahontas.
Oh yes.
And you can literally just swap out the names. They didn't even try very hard. John Smith, JS becomes Jake Sully, and they're basically the same thing. Like
That's
someone
Have
from.
you seen Dances with Wolves?
No, is it again the same thing?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I saw the second Avatar. I mean, it's cool to watch.
Yeah. Avatar 3D. It's just like nice to sit there and
Yeah,
look at the
it's nice
look at the fish.
Yeah. It's nice to look at. It's like, oh wow, it looks great. The story. It's like, okay. The second one was better than the. Did you guys see the second Avatar?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, it was good.
It was good.
It's
It was a big improvement from the first one.
It's just weird when you start seeing New Zealanders pop up in it.
Yeah, just like what is he here?
Like who's in that?
Oh fuck, I forget his name. One of the Flight of the Conchords guys.
Brett McKenzie.
Nah, the other one.
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jermaine. Yeah, he's in it. Yeah.
Does he use New Zealand accent?
Yeah.
New Zealand. New Zealand accent in those movies are not great.
It's pretty jarring, eh?
It's so jarring. There's a reason why we need American accents in those films.
Yeah, it's not. I don't mind. Well, I think when it's used for comic effect, like Taika Waititi's one.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, when it's it's very niche kind of humor. But obviously, all of New Zealand's like, whoa, but then everyone else is like,
Yeah, it's like, we talk and it's normal, but when you hear it like in an American show, it's just nah.
Yeah, it's like, guys, we got to get together and do this, and Kiwi's like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh, we should probably call Steve first. Yeah. He's got the ute and stuff.
No, I don't like that. And it's just the New Zealand accent doesn't always translate very well in those films.
I think when it's it depends. Films. I think when it's made like sort of a feature, it doesn't work too badly. Well, the
I
whole
wonder what like a really hoary ass accent would sound like, eh? And
Well,
an
that-
American
that-
show.
did
I
Tim
mean-
Weir
I mean,
Morrison
yeah.
do that in the Star Wars
Oh.
movies?
No, he didn't have a Maori accent at all.
Didn't he? Oh.
No, like in the.
Oh, we're
No,
gonna,
no, the
we're gonna
kid
chase
did
these
do,
dudes
the kid
down
did.
now.
Oh no, the kid. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like,
Hey, Dad! Watch out, Dad! Yeah, that's right. Yeah, true. Poor kid. He just wanted to make some money. But
He's probably retired. Don't
yeah,
feel
I
sorry
wonder
for
how
him.
much. I wonder how much money he got paid from that. That what was his name? The kid who played. Was in the second one, Attack of the Clones. That
I can't remember the kid's name.
Hey, Dad, we gonna go get this dude or what?
But Terry Morrison's got. It's not an American accent he puts on, but just like a.
He's got like a he's got like a well spoken.
It's very well spoken. It's like
Maori
pack your
accent.
things, we're leaving.
You see, like
Pack your things.
sounds like Sir Howard Morrison.
Yeah, no, there's like
sounds
this,
badass.
there's this other accent that's like a lot of the older generation Maoris have it, where it's like a really well spoken.
Yeah, well, but that whole sort of the suite of like those really sort of accomplished entertainers and performers had those sorts of accents.
Yeah.
Eh? Like part of the reason Billy T. James stood out is because he switched it on and off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get that. That's part of that. But I guess also, like, if you're a trained actor, actress, you have, like, voice coaching lessons. That's also a part of it, I suppose, as well.
no, I know truck drivers that have that accent. Eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like Terry Morrison's one. That
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to... Now that you mention it, actually, I have worked with a couple of techs and stuff when I was working as a technician, actually. Yeah. Had very, like, well-spoken, like, direct, like, voices and that. But then as soon as they're, like, the Maori mates come along and just...
Code switching.
Yeah, it just switches up, and I'm just like, oh, it's funny. But I'm just like, oh, cool. I mean, everyone kind of does that though. It's like at work, like for me,
Yeah.
I have like a bit of a work voice, and then when my mates,
It's funny when you hear white people do it. When the Maori boys, the Pacific boys come along, they're like, "Oh, hey, yes," so then we go, "Oh, yeah, no, on the spot."
That's the thing. I don't really work with many white. I've never heard it.
that's funny. I worked with oh, the camera's gone, but that's right. I worked with I remember I was at work timber yard, and I was working with all like Samoa. I was the only white guy on the yard, and that was funny. They all called me like all of their slang, and I'm just like mean. Like I'll be Uso, bro. It's all good.
Balangi.
You're like yeah.
Us.
Yeah, I'll just be like, who the
Us. Lunch.
And I'm like, and they come over and I'm talking to you, and I'm just like, what? Okay. I don't know. I don't think I changed too much, but I know. Yeah, the white boys talk about. I've seen that. I have seen that. I've seen that. My favorite tradie voice is probably like the older, probably about 50 to maybe 60-year-old, like white guy construction manager. They talk like this, and they're all just like, "G'day, yep." Very good. Are you going over there? Yep. They're generally called Nigel, I find. But yeah, I kind of like to.
A few Richards in there as well.
A few Richards. You know, they like they might have a batch. They enjoy the rugby. You know, have maybe one or two beers, but not too much. Don't get too silly. You know,
Smattering of Trents as well, possibly.
yeah. And then just like a couple of like remarks. You know, like you come tell you that you're late every day. You know. Those kind of ones, but that I used to find them annoying. Now
Just a subtle flex.
Yeah, now I just kind of miss them. Just kind of like, "G'day, how you going, Scott? You having a good day there, mate? Oh yeah, I just got some stuff to do over here. Let me have a look. What you doing? Oh, looks right, mate. Yeah. Oh, bless. All right, fellas. I think we're nearing the end. Well, my camera said anyway. So I will come up with some quick fires. Let's go. Okay. I've had some good ones of this recently, so I hope some good ones from you guys. Strangest gig experience.
I think we just talked about it.
The porn? Is that the no? Okay. Going to a show. Like, let's change it. Go at a show, like you went to see a band or an artist. What's the strange one?
There's one. I still don't know to this day if what I saw was what I was seeing, but I went to go see Yin Yang Twins. And,
I don't know them. Yin Yang Twins?
Wait till you see my dick.
No.
Is that a request?
That's one of their songs.
Is that a request?
They were with Lil Jon. Like,
okay.
I would see them,
I know Lil Jon, of course.
and like I couldn't see that well, but it looked like one of them was wearing a strap on.
All right.
But I still don't know to this day if like what I saw was what I was seeing.
Google it. I'm sure it's probably on there. The
Oh, this was like in 2000 and I don't know, 5 or 6 or something.
Walked out with a dildo.
The weirdest one that I can remember, just because it was so odd and unique, was when I was living in Korea when Psy released Gangnam Style. Mm-hmm. Of course, Koreans are all over it because they're like, oh, finally, Korean popular culture has taken over mainstream America, and like at that time it did. And it was like a big cultural moment to like see that finally because K-pop had sort of been a massive thing for years throughout Asia, not just in Korea. And it had like a massive following in the millions, and there were like, these really famous performers, and then all of a sudden it had jumped to like all of a sudden like global stardom. And so Psy was massive news at the time. And he had been booked to perform at this university orientation in Cheongju, which is where I was living. And they wouldn't let him out of the booking. And so it was supposed to be like I'm guessing probably a few thousand people, because he was relatively well known, but he was more sort of a journeyman, I think, there at the time. Sort of quite an interesting sort of hip hop artist.
That was the 7th album, right?
Yeah.
I think Gangnam Style was on his 7th album.
Yeah. And so instead of there being a few hundred, a few thousand people showing up to this university orientation, there being a performance afterwards, like tens of thousands of people showed up. And I think they didn't know what to do, because there were these dignitaries seated up front on plastic chairs on this like big flat like sand field, which is what all of them are made of over there, because the grass would die in winter, and does, because it gets super cold. So it's literally just these like massive sandy expanses, and then there was a hill in the background. And so they literally made tens of thousands of people, because they were worried it was getting rowdy. They made tens of thousands of people sit down before like he performed. And so, like, these people on stage just literally, and I didn't speak good enough Korean to exactly understand what the whole thing was about, but they literally made all these people that had shown up sit down just before the performance started. And so I just looked around and was like, this is some weird energy, man. I think everyone's super excited and like amped to see this guy perform, and then there was just like these dignitaries seated up front from like the university sitting on chairs, and everyone behind them sitting like just down on the ground to ensure that there was some sense of order. And then, of course, the gig happened and everyone stood up and got, a little bit rowdy. But yeah, just beforehand, I was like, this is so strange. This was just the whole context of it. I was like, I don't quite know what to make of this, because the whole thing is just so bizarre.
That is weird. Being made to sit down before. Normally, you get made to sit down, so you jump up.
But no, it was like, sit down, everybody. Yeah. This is too rowdy. There's too many people to sit down.
You can't have too much fun. Not allowed.
Yeah, it's probably knowing Korea, it's probably because there wouldn't have been a massive safety plan in place, I wouldn't imagine.
Probably not.
And it was, it ended up being a really interesting and fun gig. But, and before that, another funny thing about it was some friends from Cheongju. One of the guys worked at the university, and they were a bunch of English teachers who had been in a band that played like partly Beatles covers and a few originals. And they were like sort of like a soft sort of pop rock band, ended up opening for him. And there was like these guys who like the biggest performance they'd had before this was to a pub called, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called Pearl Jam, the name of the pub. The biggest performance they would have been there to about 30 people. And then the next day they were performing to like 10,000 people, opening for the biggest act in the world at that time.
What a fucking opening. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, they're just playing covers.
They played some originals and a few Beatles covers as well, because everyone in Korea seems to know the Beatles. And
that's bizarre.
Yep.
Did he shoot out? I've seen a few videos of him just shooting out from under the stage. Did he do that whole thing?
I can't remember, possibly.
His shows are really long, I've heard as well.
I honestly can't remember a lot. Like the whole thing about it was like, this is, a fairly well choreographed K-pop-ish show. But yeah, just the stuff leading up to it, I was like, wow, this is just so bizarre.
That is pub band to open for Psy. Wow, that is jarring. Bizarre. Okay. Let's see what else I got. Where are we at? Let's see. Do you guys have any gripes in the band with each other that you get annoyed by? Let's just talk about them here. I don't know. I'm just looking for things. Talk about James. He's not here.
Talk about James. He's not here. Well, we were going to do that for the song, actually, because the whole. I mean, it's pretty straight up and down. The song is basically James is basically, we've talked about actually like sharing the story about it, is he struggled with addiction off like fairly consistently throughout his life.
Oh, that sucks.
He's sort of out of it at the moment. He's probably doing better. I think he has ever since I've known him. I think he's got his shit together at the moment. But when I was writing lyrics to the song, it had just sort of happened that he had a relapse, and his sister called me up and was like, something's wrong. He's called me up and he's mumbling and not making any sense, and he sounds like he's pretty like borderline unresponsive. So I went over to where he was staying, and like he was just sort of slumped over and like not responding at all. And so I was like, I couldn't get him to stand up or anything. He was off his face basically on, I think it was possibly alcohol mixed with things to try and stop him getting off alcohol, but if you mix them, apparently causes problems. And so I had to basically call the ambulance, and they were like, there's some weird things going on with your heart, so we think we're going to take you to the hospital for observation.
Oh crap, I had no idea.
Yeah, so that's what the song's about. And I think we've kind of been mostly discussed whether we want to talk about it. I was like, well, if that's the story of the song, that's the story of the song.
Yeah, we ran it past James first. So like, should we? He's like, yeah, might as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a massive secret, seeing as we've released a song and promoted it. So.
If you read the lyrics, I suppose, you can find that. He's doing better at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
He's been all over it lately, eh?
Like last couple, all the gigs this year he's been sober. So
Yeah.
If you're talking about gripes, there was one particular one last year where he wasn't, which didn't go quite as well as we'd have hoped, and we sort of had a sort of band discussion about it. And so I think part of the complication is that neither Phil or I drink.
Okay.
And I think James had for years been used to like use it as a coping mechanism, because like for a lot of people, and I think probably for ages as well, like beer helps take the edge off, or alcohol helps take the edge off, like the nerves and stuff you feel. And I think if you get used to doing it, it becomes a crutch. But I don't think he's really doing that anymore. And I think we've been playing better because of it.
Yeah, like the quality of the shows has improved a lot. That one in Hamilton was... I was on stage because I didn't realize he was like as like drunk as he was. I was like, fuck, are we like just too old?
Just sloppy playing and stuff.
I was like, fuck.
When you get your 30s, you lose your rhythm.
Shit. Oh, damn. I had no idea. Oh, I'm glad he's doing better. Yeah, far out. Addiction is, something that's, for a lot of people, is like I don't know, just a part of them, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything that you can, having had, like, known a few people in both in my family and outside my family who've suffered from it, it's not like something that you could turn off. I think if they...
Just management, hey?
Yeah, that's why I don't drink. I've had, like, alcoholic uncles and shit. Like,
That's shit. Yeah, I think one of the best explanations I heard about it was, I think, Steve-O from, like, Jackass, because he's, like, sober now, but he was obviously well known for doing fucking all the drugs and all the crazy stuff. But he said, like, he can't even, like, touch any of it. He stays very strict with, like, he's like a sobriety group he goes to. I think still does now. But he said, like, I can't even have, like, a touch of alcohol, because if I have alcohol, it's going to activate, like, my weed. I will start on weed, and then I want cocaine again, and then all that. It just, like, slowly, like, if I just have one drink, it will just activate everything else.
Yeah.
I found that quite interesting.
Well, he's certainly got, like, Dave Grohl talks about it. He's like, the reason he never did drugs, other than alcohol, because he's a super addictive personality, and he's like it would only have been a matter of, he's like in his autobiography, he's like, it would only have been a matter of time till I was giving dudes blowjobs and bus shelters in order to get a tenner. So he's like that's why I never did it. I think there's probably a lot of people who fall into that category who just have like sort of compulsive addictive personalities. I think James is like that, and I think that's not necessarily, like, if you've got a handle on it, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because he gets really into stuff and really immerses himself in things. It's just when, and I think this is probably the same for a lot of people who have sort of addictive personalities, that it's hard to just have one, or just to dabble in something for a while.
I find the best thing, like, to kill alcohol really quick is if you have, like, a few drinks and then have like a bit of food. I just want to stop drinking straight away. But I mean, yeah, I think it's just I feel like bloated, or I just the motivation of, like, I'm on a buzz, and then you it's like the food like kills it. Sort of. But yeah, everyone's different. Like some people just can't stop; they'll just keep cracking drinks, and I know a few people like that as well.
yeah, because I was like that. I didn't drink often But when I did, I was just fucking
Just but not one or two. We're having 10 or 11.
yeah, like 1 or 2 boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is like there's that coping mechanism for a lot of people, but also like and if I think with guys as well, you don't always talk about everything, so find a way to bottle that up. And
I've been friends with that guy for years. I didn't realize how bad it was. Like we went to Raro together.
Yeah.
And I was like surprised. I was like, "Fuck, he's drinking every day. That's weird." But like, I didn't think it was like that's not like an addiction thing. But yeah,
yeah, holiday drinking. Yeah, but if that comes home,
Yeah, I kind of said it to him as well. I was like, after that sort of the thing had happened, I was like, bro, I didn't realize it was as bad. And he's like, yeah, well, I've over the past 15 years gotten pretty good at hiding it.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay. Like he got to the point where I think he couldn't hide it anymore, and I'd started to suspect it anyway. But yeah, I think probably there's probably this, the whole idea of being a functioning alcoholic. There's probably quite a lot of them out there.
Oh, I bet. I think there was a study done like in like London, like in a lot of like workplaces and that, talking about the amount of people who are just like on drugs when they're at work. And I can't remember what the percentage was, but it was a lot of high functioning addicts at work, and especially in these high pressure jobs, if it's whatever it may be, and people just are functioning drug addicts because it also you got to be onto it all the time. Sometimes you got to work late, and then you have to meet deadlines and all that, and the pressure, and you're replaceable and all that stuff, and you end up just getting like hooked and trying to keep up.
Cocaine might help.
Yeah, listen to the song "Cocaine Eyes" by Sungods.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, sweet boys. Anything else you guys want to promote or shout out before we head off?
We've got some shows coming up.
Oh, we got some shows.
I don't know the
coming
dates.
Up.
Just look on our Instagram.
The 24th Summer in K Road at I want to say the basement. Is it the basement?
Underground?
Underground? I should probably have checked that. The 20th again in Tauranga at the Voodoo Lounge.
We're going back.
Going back.
Round
Play. Yeah, hopefully third time lucky. There'll be a few more people and less, maybe more porn. On the screen. I have to see how that plays out. And then
we can just ask them to play it.
Yeah. Good old.
Put in a request.
We can
anything on your rider?
Just use that as part of the promo.
Yeah.
Maybe porn.
Yeah. Maybe 50 Shades of Grey playing in the background.
It's like on your rider, like we want live porn.
Yeah. We'll see if we can maybe practice with the screen in the background and see if we can sync up some of the songs with some of the like
With the pounding.
Get a good
some of the
kick drum
pounding,
going.
yeah.
It's about 120 BPM.
Yeah, exactly. 120 BPM. Speeds up at the end though, so James is gonna have to
do a roll. Fuck. What a show. Sweet. Oh, well, cool. Thanks, guys, for coming on. It's been good to have you on again.
Thanks for having us.
And wish you best of luck with the shows and more releases and some funky porn live shows.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll be there.
All right, sweet. All right, thanks everyone for listening. Thank you. Bye.